The engines rumbled softly as dawn broke over the runway. Captain Darius Cole adjusted his uniform, his gold stripes gleaming beneath the rising sun. He was proud of the aircraft, proud of the company he'd built from the ground up. But pride turned to confusion when a young co-pilot, Aaron Mills, stormed down the stairs, blocking his way up. "Sir, this area is restricted. Only authorized flight crew can board." Darius froze. "I am the captain." Aaron laughed sharply. "Yeah, right. The real captain's on his way? Please step aside before I call security." The flight attendant gasped quietly. Darius's calm expression didn't waver, but behind his eyes, a storm was already forming. "Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this." Captain Darius Cole wasn't just any pilot. He was one of the few black aviators in the region who not only commanded aircraft but owned them. 15 years of relentless work had turned his small charter company into a respected brand. Every inch of his plane reflected his journey: sacrifice, discipline, and resilience. Aaron Mills was his newest hire. Fresh out of flight school, bright-eyed, confident, maybe too confident. Darius saw potential in him and believed mentorship could turn that arrogance into skill. He had once been that same eager young pilot looking for a chance. But things had shifted recently. Aaron had grown distant, cocky, dismissive. He interrupted Darius during briefings, questioned his decisions mid-flight, and once joked that Darius looked more like a bodyguard than a captain. The comment had earned him a stern warning. Today's flight was important: high-profile clients, investors on board, and a media partnership at stake. Everything had to run perfectly, so when Darius was told to step off his own plane, it wasn't just an insult. It was a reminder of every unseen barrier he'd faced, the ones you couldn't point at, but could always feel. Darius remained silent for a moment, watching Aaron's expression, smug, impatient, confident of his own authority. "Check your manifest," Darius said evenly. "It'll tell you who's in command." Aaron crossed his arms. "Sir, please. I've been briefed. The captain's name is Cole, not—" He stopped as Darius slowly held up his badge. The gold lettering gleamed: Captain Darius Cole, owner, Skywave Aviation. For a moment, Aaron's face went pale. That can't be right." Maria, the head flight attendant, rushed down the stairs, sensing the tension. "Mr. Mills, Captain Cole is the captain." He signed the pre-flight checklist himself. But instead of apologizing, Aaron muttered, "There must have been a mistake. I mean, no offense, sir, but I didn't expect—" "Didn't expect what?" Darius asked quietly. Aaron's throat tightened. He wanted to say a captain like you, but the word stuck. His silence said enough. Darius stepped closer, his calm voice now edged with steel. "You assumed I didn't belong here. Why? Because I don't fit the picture in your head?" Aaron looked away. "I didn't mean—" "You did," Darius interrupted softly. "You just didn't think I'd hear it." The nearby crew fell silent, the only sound the hum of engines and distant radio chatter. Maria looked between them, anxious. "Captain, please, we need to prepare for departure." But Darius didn't move. He took a deep breath, his mind replaying every moment in his career when he'd had to prove himself twice as much, apologize for other people's discomfort, smile through disrespect. Not today. Darius walked up the stairs, shoulders square, authority radiating with every step. Inside the cockpit, the air felt heavier. Aaron followed, his confidence now shattered, sweat beating at his temple. "Sit down," Darius said, his tone calm but commanding. Aaron obeyed. Eyes fixed on the floor, Darius flipped the switches, checked the logs, and spoke without looking at him. "When I hired you, I told you this job demands respect. Not just for the aircraft, but for people." Aaron swallowed hard. "Yes, sir." "Today you failed at both." Darius reached for the intercom. "Maria, please inform the ground crew that First Officer Aaron Mills has been relieved of duty." "He will not be joining this flight," Aaron's head snapped up. "Sir, please, it was a misunderstanding." "No," Darius replied, finally meeting his gaze. "A misunderstanding is when you forget a checklist. What you did was a choice." The silence that followed was thick, final. Aaron stood, humiliated, as Darius gestured to the exit. "You're dismissed." As the plane lifted off moments later, Darius's reflection stared back at him in the glass. Steady, calm, but burdened. The clouds stretched endlessly ahead, soft and golden. Maria leaned into the cockpit. "Captain, you did what you had to do." He nodded slowly. "Maybe, but I wish I didn't have to keep proving what should already be clear." She hesitated, then smiled sadly. "The crew saw what happened. They'll remember it. Maybe that's how change starts." Darius didn't answer right away. He focused on the horizon, a silver line between storm and sunrise. "I just hope someday," he said quietly. "No one's judged before they even take off." Later that evening, the flight landed smoothly. The clients complimented the professionalism, unaware of the confrontation that had occurred hours earlier. But word spread among the staff, not as gossip, but as respect. The man who stood tall when silence was easier. Meanwhile, Aaron Mills packed his belongings in shame. Yet deep down, he knew the lesson would stay with him longer than any flight manual could teach. Back in his office, Darius hung his cap on the hook and stared at the framed photo of his first solo flight. A younger version of himself, full of dreams, unaware of the battles ahead. He smiled faintly. The sky, he thought, doesn't care about color, only skill, discipline, and heart. And tomorrow he'd fly again, because quitting wasn't in his nature. Have you ever felt unseen in a place you worked so hard to belong? If you've ever had to prove you belong, share your story. Let's make these conversations visible and help change the skies for everyone. And hey, where are you watching from? Take care.